For the emotionally immature person, reality is really pretty optional. Meaning that if I'm an emotionally immature person, I'm going to interpret life through the lens of how it makes me feel. So if you say to me, and I'm an emotionally immature parent, Mom, I don't want you stopping by without calling first. Okay, to me, that feels like I've been slapped. That feels like I'm not loved. And so I might say something like, oh, well, I must just be the worst mother ever if I can't stop by to see my own daughter. Okay, which makes you crazy because that's not at all what you said, and that's not at all what you meant. But because of the egocentrism and because of that emotional way of interpreting reality, what I feel is what I know to be true.
This is an enormous problem, and I've seen it in the business world as well. People put so much weight on their feelings, how they feel and what they want the outcome to be, that you really see they care way more about themselves and what they feel than about the truth. They don't want truth to reign supreme and let truth guide them. They want not to be hurt or not to feel bad or not to feel that pain. So they will lie over and over, and they will scam because they don't want to say sorry or pay the fine or feel the pain or the guilt. They'd rather let lies reign instead of truth reign, but feel good. So actually, in a way, then their feelings have become their God, not the God of truth.
For the emotionally immature person, reality is really pretty optional. Meaning that if I'm an emotionally immature person, I'm going to interpret life through the lens of how it makes me feel. But because of the egocentrism and because of that emotional way of interpreting reality, what I feel is what I know to be true. Emotionally immature people want you to understand what their intention was, not what the impact was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a total intention impact thing.
Yeah. It's like, sorry, I shot you. I didn't intend to. But don't make such a big deal out of it.
Yeah, the whole deal with intention is that it's great to have good intentions, but if you always had good intentions, but the impacts are always bad, then it actually doesn't matter what your intentions were, because having a good intention is about correction. You know, if we have a conversation, Lindsay, and you say to me, hey, Forrest, you messed this thing up. You spoke to me in a way that I didn't like, you didn't treat me kindly, whatever it is. I could say to you, hey, I just want you to know off the top, that's not what I meant to do. And I can do that as a joining act. I can say like, wow, of course, it was my intention to not harm you. So that way, my heart's in the right place or whatever it is. But from there, the next sentence is, and I'll change it in the future. That's the next sentence. So if the next sentence isn't there, then the intention kind of stops mattering at a certain point, right?
I can't say it any better than that. It does stop mattering.
So here we see in Corinthians, bad company ruins good morals, 1 Corinthians 15. So the thing here is, it is catastrophic to link up or date or marry the wrong person. Now, many people think this is sexually in sexual sin and violent people, and obviously that is very important. But one of the biggest signs at first is selfishness. And one of the first signs of selfishness and narcissism is how the split of the conversation goes. Do you find them speaking 90% about their things and themselves, and 10% about you and you speaking about yourself? This shows total disproportion and huge selfishness and potential narcissism. Watch how they split the conversation.
These are people who love it when you're interested in them, but they don't really ask you very many questions about yourself. Or if they do,
you can see them kind of zone out.
Yeah. And you can think of the classic kind of Hollywood line, the two people getting together and one person rattles on for a while and says, hey, enough about me. Let's talk about you. What did you think of my screenplay? You know what I mean? Right? Like, that's a clue right there. Or you realize that you're with them, and when you get together, 80% of the airtime is taken up with them talking about this or this or that, and you get around 20%.